Red Pill Queen asks, wondering how often people feel Kundalini. Kriya's rising symptoms. I don't feel like it's as often or as intense as it used to be. Maybe I'm desensitized. I guess I'm wondering if that's normal. Yeah, I would say that I think that this is pretty normal. Um, for me, in the very beginning of when this really kind of took off for me, it was like 6 to 8 months of just nonstop phenomena, like really intense, dramatic stuff. All sorts of energetic phenomena, psychic phenomena, movements in the body. I'd wake up in yoga poses in my bed, like weird stuff like this. Over time, it just got calmer and calmer and calmer. And then there's periods that, for months at a time, it can be very quiet. And it's like almost like none of this ever happened to me. It's just a very quiet experience. And there were times, at least in the past few years, where I thought all of this quietude would be here forever, and I would never really experience much more phenomena. Not true, right? I went on retreat, for example, and the retreat created a container for all sorts of phenomena to arise, more openings and releases, and all sorts of transformations were taking place. And then once the retreat was over, it just went back to being quiet. For example, like I described, I did this, magic mushroom trip. Prior to that, things were pretty quiet. The magic mushroom trip, not quiet at all. It was lots of phenomena, lots of energy moving and kriyas and all sorts of things like that. After the trip, very quiet, very quiet. So I don't know like if there's like a general trajectory of how this all works. That's why I like to say this doesn't ever stop. The process just keeps going because I think that it's just the evolution of consciousness as well as the flow of impermanence and change within this human system. And as we know, like aging, we don't stop. It doesn't stop. So why would this process stop? Does that mean it has to be difficult and challenging and nonstop purging and purification and nonstop dark night of the soul for the rest of your life? No, not at all. Not at all. So when I was on retreat having all this phenomena, not scary, not uncomfortable, just interesting. Just watch it. The psychedelic trip that I had, not scary, not uncomfortable, just interesting stuff happening. Whereas in the beginning of my Kundalini awakening process, where all of that stuff was happening for, like I said, the 6 to 8 months, that was like pure hell and torture and confusing and scary and uncomfortable and all sorts of things. Now, not so much, though I can admit perhaps next week it could get really intense and difficult for me. I don't know for sure, but I think it's just an ongoing journey. It's just a part of our life now. Right? This is a part of our life. And if you're in a difficult place, then you may hear that and say, "Oh no, like this is going to be forever." Just know like the difficult the difficulty doesn't have to be always a part of your life, but the awakening process, the transformation of consciousness, the flow of Shakti through your system, that's part of your life now, for sure.